The Great Awakening wasn't necessarily one grand event that happened all at once. It was more so a series of religious revivals that reshaped America's culture over centuries. Okay, so picture this. People started getting bored in church, losing interest essentially. The Enlightenment was all about science and reason, not about faith or religion or believing. And that had people rethinking what's facts and what's beliefs. The boring preacher gets replaced, out with the old, dry, tasteless, traditional sermons. So people started to feel like they were tied down to this idea that preachers were preaching to them. So what they did was they reasoned, they thought, and they remembered that individualism does matter. So they challenged this authority, and this led to the planting of the seed of independent thinking that gave a great sense of the awakening and putting emphasis on that. Okay, so by this, that put emphasis on people's personal connection with God. This was often making people ask, what was the role of fear and emotional appeal in religious revivals? Let's ask Hydri.
The Great Awakening talks about the role of fear and emotional appeal in the religious revivals and how it affected people. George Whitefield, the preacher, has become very popular in England with his new birth. George Whitefield's idea of the new birth is it was not enough to be baptized or just go to church. Each individual must be converted by the Holy Spirit of God through a personal wrenching examination of his or her own corruption and sinfulness. If the people did not do this, they would be threatened to go to hell. This is how they used the role of fear and emotional appeal to get people to follow their ideas.
Okay, so the Great Awakening had an impact on the English colonies during the 1730s through the 1740s. The impact on the English colonies consisted of divine justice, wrath, and the possibility of redemption. During that time, the idea of secular rationalism was being reinforced and religion-wise was becoming old. Over time, this shows the religion was spread frequently throughout the town, and the concept of salvation being a free gift of God's grace, the cultural stress and radicalization developed. Another part of the Great Awakening was the temperance movement. This movement encouraged a lot of people to refrain from drinking alcoholic drinks, the fun fruity ones too, in order to preserve the family order.
The Great Awakening took place in America in the 1730s to 1740s. The Great Awakening talked mainly about people's choice in building a spiritual and personal relationship with God. This time really emphasized the fact that the people were in charge of their own beliefs and they had the power to choose whether they wanted to believe or not. George Whitefield was one of the main preachers in the Great Awakening. He made people be full of hope with his emotional and engaging speeches. However, Jonathan Edwards, on the other hand, took a different approach. He would use fire and brimstone to scare people to come to church. He would build fear in them, making them get the people to follow their ideas.
During the Great Awakening, original sin was emphasized as the inherent sinfulness of the humanity after the fall of Adam and Eve, leading to a state of human helplessness without divine grace, aka the doctrine of original sin. Hydri?
Remember, if you enjoyed our video, remember to like, subscribe, and comment whether you'd follow George Whitefield or Jonathan Edwards. Bye!
Thank you!